Be jamming.
I'll tell you, I'll be back here jam. I'm back the same thing.
Oh sis, oh sis, oh sis. How are you doing? You ready for tonight?
Yes, I am. How everybody doing tonight?
Welcome, welcome. Hey, take heed, beautiful. Take heed. How are you? Welcome. Who do we have here?
Oh my
Catellia, a superstar. Hey, beautiful. Miss Milani. Miss Milani. All right. Is that everybody? Okay.
so far.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, tonight's show, as you can see from the title, ooh, get a hobby.
Oh
Season
yeah.
one show and tell at a time. So we will be doing show and tell throughout today's episode. Don't be shy. You're welcome to come up. You're welcome to share. We are discussing hobbies, passions, interests, things we can do, things that we love that will reduce stress.
Oh yeah. And to
Which
keep you
is,
busy.
yes, which is crucial nowadays. We are going through so much. Sometimes I know for me anyway, sometimes it seems unbearable. So that is like that's my safe place, it's my happy place. I have several hobbies, but that's my safe, happy place, where I can just be me, and escape a safe escape. You know, there are other ways to escape, like alcohol and food and drugs, things of that nature. But it's a safe escape.
You don't
Um,
want to go that route though.
yes,
We need a safer exit, a avenue to keep ourselves sane because there's so much going on. The price of food is sky high. The price of everything sky high. Everything. It's like it's so much depression and everything going on. And we're gonna talk about a lot of things that you can do to keep you, keep that mind going, keep it, it's the politics crap that's going I don't even like to talk about it, but all that stuff going on, and you have to decompress. So we're gonna go over a lot of things that'll help you out. If you don't have a hobby, we got some ideas for you tonight.
yes. So just to share, I feel a lot of people are aware, but just to reinforce the
Mhm.
importance of having a hobby.
Right.
Um, David, hold on a second, David. Second. Let me. What counts as a hobby? I'm reading from my notes. A hobby can be any activity done regularly during spare or leisure time for pleasure. Whether you do something creative,
Mhm.
athletic, academic, or something more individualized. What really matters is that you do something. What hold on. What really matters is that it is something you find meaningful and enjoyable.
Right.
Hobbies can range from spending a quiet time alone, visiting, or eating with others.
I'm done. After seeing that I'm like, and you had to say that, sis.
Communing with nature, playing sports, or even vacationing. When we dedicate time to voluntarily engage in pleasurable activities, and research shows our mental health can flourish. So I guess that fits in under the
Yeah,
description.
yes, it do. Yes, it do. That's a great stress reliever. When you're married, y'all, when you're married. When you're
Yeah.
married, no
Yeah.
fornication. Married, that's what sex is for. A lot of people will disagree, but that's what it's for now. So,
Yes. Yes. Because I've been there. There's no greater stress than being intimate with someone you don't have a real connection with, and
mhm,
the anxiety that comes afterwards. You
I've been
know, 'cause,
I've been
we all know what can happen.
there. Great stress reliever. So we would
Yeah.
not, don't leave that one out. We're not gonna go over it tonight, but that is one, y'all. So that was a
Yes.
tidbit that been thrown out there.
Thanks, David. All right. Well, threw me off. Okay, yeah. So, we know hobbies, our passions, our interests,
Mhm.
reduce stress, they enhance well-being, improve connection, which I think is more important now more than ever, because I feel that so many of our interactions online aren't genuine. Um,
It's not. Remember when we was growing up, look, we had a regular we had telephone, we really was on. Everybody got out. You
the
got
fight
you
for that phone.
There was no cell phones. We had the pagers. If we wanted to see anybody, you know what I'm saying? We had to go out. We went to parks. People don't even know what dates are now. We went to parks. We was able to have a nice time. Even when it comes to the family dynamic, if you noticed it used to be lots of family reunions back then. It's none now. It's like it's non and void. It's like the family reunion is on the phone.
Mhm.
Everything is on the phone. So you're what they call it sedentary. So you just at home, you sitting and you wondering why everybody gaining all this weight. And when it comes to the physical, working out helps out, getting some sun, roller skating. If you have children, do activities with your kids. It's so many things that fall under the physical um hobbies, and it's best to have those because from what I learned, and I'll give y'all a background, I had been disabled for a while since 2018. So it was like I was like bedridden for a couple of years. That stuff can get depressing. Do y'all hear me? It is very depressing when you're not able to go out. You got your rights of drive. I used to drive a lot. I drove when I was in nursing. I was driving as a bus driver. When I was a hospice, when I worked for hospice, I did a lot of traveling all over Michigan. And then for them to say, well, guess what, your condition, we gonna have to take your driver's license away. I have a restriction. I still have it, but I have a restriction on it. So it's
Mm.
like when you at home, it's like, and you're not doing anything, that's when that depression comes on. It's a lot of things that comes into play when you're not physical. So I am one that can tell you that is not the way to go. You have to keep yourself busy. Find some kind of hobby. If you can't get out, like me, I have a recumbent bike. I don't know if anybody know what that is. It's
No.
it's like an exercise bike, but it's also like a what they call that elliptical, but you sitting down.
Okay, cool.
And you able to work your arms and your legs. So it's a total body bike. So, sometime I get on, sometime I don't. It all depends on how I feel, sis. It all depends on how I feel. But you got to keep yourself physically, doing something. Don't be stagnant because if y'all look at it, the foods that's out there is no good for us. It's gonna go against your body regardless. So if you're sedentary, that's when you're gonna gain all the weight. Another thing for sisters when it comes to a physical activity, cleaning your house is a physical activity.
Yes.
Have some music,
Yes.
some nice music going, not no ratchet music, y'all. I know you like that ratchet music. I'm gonna be honest, but have some nice music going on. You go around, you clean your house, you vacuum and stuff. Vacuuming is exercise. It helps with your arms. Sweeping also when you sweeping a certain way, that also helps with your waist. and it helps, with your core. So it's a lot of things you can do. Washing windows, that's all exercise. By the time you done cleaning your house, you had a whole entire workout. I'm just gonna be honest. You had a whole entire workout. You feel good. Your house smell good, and that helps with with everything. So especially your spirit because your house is clean and I don't know, it does that for me. I don't know about anybody else, but it's really relaxing. But a lot of people like, you hear a lot of women, I don't like to clean up the house. I'm like, that mean all you do is sit on your butt eating bonbons, watching
Mm,
housewives all day.
mm.
Get active. Get active, y'all. It don't hurt. It will not hurt. So that's all I have to say on that one. But yeah, we really have to get into being physical in a lot of things. Like you saying, like I was what you were saying, sister, in the email, like the rock climbing and stuff. That's something to do. Bowling. I like bowling, y'all. Bowling. Me and my husband was talking about I never played miniature golf in my life. So never. So I was telling him, he said, you never know. I never played golf. I thought golf was boring. When I was in school,
Mm.
I played basketball, football, tennis. I was a cheerleader. I was what they call in the the bands, I was the baton girl. I was always active. I was running, I was in track and field. Only thing I didn't tackle when I was in school was ROTC. Everything in school. Oh, and I was in modern dance. I was in modern dance from elementary school all the way through high school. So I always
Mm.
kept busy. And then when you get older, it's like, I was like, I wish I was able to do all them things that, it's so many things that you still able to do, but you just have to have the time for it. Look, it's resources, look it up, and you'll find there's a lot of places that still have a lot of things for you to get into, especially if you live in certain communities. Look at their community centers. I stay in the suburbs, so they have a lot of things for the community out here. At community center, they have like the aerobics, the like sewing classes, jury classes, all that other stuff. So just look into things to see if like if your community have these certain services. And they cost little or nothing, especially if you live in those communities.
Hmm. And it's easier if it's something like you mentioned, sis. It's easier if it's something that you enjoy doing. That
Yeah.
you enjoy doing because the time goes by and the calories burned just like that. Just like that. We
Yeah.
have Katalia says her hobby is riding her bicycle, and it's actually how you get your cardio in. And I'm sure
Yeah. I miss
it
riding.
flies by. The time flies by.
You know what I used to do, sis? I had bikes now. I was telling my husband when I lived in northern Michigan, we had parks, it was safe. It was, I stayed like with Ferris State University, that's Big Rapids. It's Ferris State University here in Michigan. So I was like college town. It was always busy. What I did, 4 children, myself, I bought all of us a Swin. Those Swins cost. Okay. What we used to do, we used to all get out there and ride our bikes. We used to go to the park that was like across the road from our house, and we would be at this park, the River Walk, for at least 4 hours every day. 4 hours, y'all, no joke,
Mm,
because
mm,
was riding around with our bikes. We sit there and eat. We watch the wildlife. We always had seen the deer. They had the river where the riverfront was. You would see all kinds of fish jump up, especially salmon. So we was always there. It was like very enjoyable. I kept my kids healthy and active, and to this day, they're all ideal weight. None of them are overweight, which is a good thing because I incorporated them to be, to keep busy. So, yeah, but I really look. Somebody said Ferris campus is safe. I love my time there. That's who is that? Lou Medic? Yes, Lou Medic. I raised my kids in Big Rapids, so I lived there for 13 years, and I really loved it. My kids loved it there. I worked with the people. I knew about like 5 or 6 professors there. Excuse me, y'all. And one of them, I took one of the the professors there, I took care of her mother when I managed the assistant living home there on what was that? On Water Tower Street. So yeah, I know all about that. And we really enjoyed I really miss Big Rapids.
You see my private messages.
Uh-oh, hold on. Let me see. Okay.
Technical issues. I'll be back in just a
Okay,
second.
okay. Alright. But yeah, getting, far as the hobbies, if you have children, include your children in that, include them in a lot of physical activities. It'll be fun, and plus it will also count as a memory for your children. So my kids remember it all the time. It's like, "Mama, remember we was used to ride the bike?" Ferris State University used to have the concerts there. So it was open to the public and everything. Everybody had a nice time there. I really miss it up there. So I wish I was able to go back, but nope. I ended up moving downstate when I got remarried and been back down here for like going on 11 years now. I was like, dang. So I ended up Lumedic. I took my husband because my dad, he was sick. He was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And this was back in 2022 when we found out. And I think we found out like before the summer. So, we used to go up there to visit my dad and everything. And my husband actually liked Big Rapids. At first, I don't think he liked it, but he was like, "Oh, it's kind of quiet up there." I say, "It's trees. I love the trees. I love the fresh air. I love the water." And that river
Keisha.
walk, although I'm in Detroit, they had a river walk here. This Detroit River Walk don't have nothing on the Big Rapids river walk. I'm sorry. We have the Detroit River, but it's more safe there. And I like safe spaces, and you don't have to worry about if you sent your kids to the park and somebody bother them.
Yeah, that's a peaceful feeling, boy. That's a peaceful
Yeah,
feeling.
it's real peaceful, and I'm like, and you really need to get yourself active. Don't look upon them drugs, because I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I'm just gonna be honest. The doctors called themselves because I was, in the house and I wasn't able to move and I couldn't get out like I needed to. First thing they called themselves doing is throwing me on Zoloft. I said, you know what?
Mm,
first,
mm-mm.
first they put me on gabapentin. I gotta tell y'all about the gabapentin. They put me on the gabapentin because I have MS, y'all, just in case a lot of people don't know, that's what I have. So I have a lot of neuropathy pain. So they put me on this gabapentin and it didn't help me at all, sis. It's like it made me more depressed. And my husband came home, y'all. Let me tell you, I was in living room with my sisters from a congregation that came to visit me, right? Soon as my husband came in that door, we all shalom. My husband looked at me. He was like, "You getting off that ish?" I said, "What?" He said, "This." He
Oh,
said, as soon as he came in the door, he said, "You getting off that ish?" I said,
I,
"What?" He noticed that it was changing me, and I was having hallucinations from it, and I wasn't really privy to it, but that stuff was giving me hallucinations. It's SSRIs that these doctors give us. And it actually is supposed to help with your brain in some kind of way with your serotonin and everything, but it did the opposite. I don't believe
mm,
he said I wasn't mean towards him, but when you have a husband and he knows you, and I mean knows you, my husband knew me since I was 22. He was like, you getting off that ish. I was like, so we went to the doctor. First thing my neurologist was like, well, we gonna put you on the Zoloft. That Zoloft wasn't no better, but
mm,
the gabapentin, when I was taking it, it made me like in a perilous state. So when they put me on that, and it's a drug called Topamax. When I was on that stuff, y'all, I'm telling y'all, I was like in comatose. I was awake, but I couldn't move. So although we say, I'm not saying don't follow your doctor, but really look into drugs that your doctor is giving you, because
do your research.
a lot of times that stuff isn't no good. So I'm glad what I did, I'm not telling everybody else to do it, but I had to fast and pray I didn't eat for 24 hours, and I did not take that medication for 24 hours. And I ended up getting it out of my system, and I haven't been back taking those drugs
All
because
right.
yeah,
Woo
I
woo.
had to, and everybody was wondering about the withdrawals because they said the withdrawals is real deadly when you taking those SSRIs. So it's really deadly when you stop it cold turkey. But like I said, I fast, prayed, didn't eat, didn't drink anything, and I knocked those out of my system cold turkey. It's best to keep yourself busy and everything and to keep that depression down. So all
Mm,
praise, I was able to have my kids were near when my husband was working. I always had the kids, they came around to visit me. So all the kids lived around the corner from where we was at, which was cool.
good.
So, I had all 5 of my babies coming around to see me, and that's when I had my grandson, my first grandson, so he kept me busy. And me and my husband drove all the way to Ohio to get a dog. The dog I have
Was
now,
this the English bulldog?
yeah, girl, he gets on my nerves. Oh, his name is Jedi, y'all. He gets on my nerves. Oh my God. We had him. I got videos of him. I said, "Oh Lord," he was giving me a headache. I wanted to throw him out the window. I'm just
Animal abuse.
I'm not an abuser of animals, y'all. I'm just saying he just got on my nerves because he kept on going. It was the medication I was under, and it was just bothering me and stuff. So I had to leave all that stuff alone. Oh, Lou Medic said they really built up the Riverwalk in the D, but not enough for me to go back there. I did my time. I live outside of Detroit. Lou Medic, I wouldn't even want to live there. I was born and raised in Detroit. I left Detroit in 2003 and I moved no, it's 2002. And then I moved to up north and raised. I went to Baldwin for a couple of years, and then I went to Big Rapids because I liked the atmosphere there. Was always something to do. They had the restaurants there. The kids. It was a party town, so you was able to walk around and stuff. And those college kids, boy, they something else. Sis, let me tell you what happened. One time, I know this off topic, but one time I was driving down State Street. Right, it was State Street. It's some houses, college kids are renting the homes out there, right?
Hmm.
One place called Silvernail Realty had a lot of property that they was renting out to the students. Those kids was out there with big old tables, the red cups, passing drinks as you driving down State Street.
Mm.
They was having them a good time. I had kids that lived across the street. They used to be on a roof partying. They be outside partying. I even seen what they call those, the streakers running down my street. I used to be telling kids,
Oh no, no, gross.
Lou Medic is out here. Am I right, Lou Medic?
Mm.
They had the ping pong tables out there. They was doing a lot of stuff. I said, because that was the first time I ever lived in a college town, and it was so funny. He said, "I know about that too."
Were
So
you streaking, Lumatic? Oh goodness.
y'all, I have Lou Medic is
Sweet,
my
sweet.
he is my backup. I'm not lying about Big Rapids. I really love that place, but it was something to do. And if you can live in a town that have something to keep you and your family busy, clean fun, you good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was my
And
rant on my experience in Big Rapids, y'all. I'm sorry.
story time. You good. You good. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. And you have to make the time for it. If you
Right.
gotta if you gotta schedule it,
Mhm.
whatever you have to do, because as we all know, we work so much. Is what is it? Work first, play later.
All
And we
work.
tend to just work, 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 and no time to play. So we
No,
have to make the time for it, whether it be 30 minutes a day or if it's just 30 minutes a week to
Yep.
do something for ourselves.
Yep.
So that we don't get lost in this in the madness.
Yeah,
The madness, absolutely.
system that.
But move anyway. If you are working in a position where you're sitting a lot, we were just talking about this with David. You work in a position where you're sitting a lot. David mentioned getting one of the stand up desks,
Mhm.
or even if you don't have that, get up every few minutes. Set a timer to remind yourself. Um, get yourself some little dumbbells or some ankle weights. So just keep moving, keep your body moving. Absolutely, get
Yep.
physical.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sports. Sometimes exercising can be boring. So do what you love to do. If it's
Right.
sports, if it's dancing, whether you good or not, as long as you're moving.
Right.
Um, exploring your area, like sis was just talking about, exploring your local area, hiking, historical sites,
Right.
all kinds of trails. There's so much to do. Getting outside is so important too.
Oh, sis, let me tell you what I did. I think I was talking to who I think it was JT. I was talking to him. We was talking about Detroit, the giant slide, remember? And I was
Oh yeah.
look, I took my kids there. Kids like, what the hell is this? So they saw this big old giant slide. I said, guess what? Y'all about to learn today. Those is so many stairs to walk up. Them kids like, they was like, where we gonna get this
Sis.
up? When I tell you that's a good workout, when I was a kid, I went there ever since I was like 5 years old, since
Mm.
kindergarten, and that was a good workout for us. We was running up the stairs, and then you slide down, you getting burnt and everything.
One time, I got on one time because my daughter asked me to.
Right.
I got to the top of that thing. I felt so nauseous,
Oh
but I
my.
did it. Got the little sack and I made it down. Oh,
And they got water parks, and water parks is another thing to get into. Even if you don't know how to swim, water parks is a good thing, because they have, like, certain things, like, where I'm at, I think the water park is in Madison Heights, or it's somewhere around here. They call it Red Oaks. They had a whole bunch of stuff there, and everything. They got the little slide, the water. They have it when you sit on the what they call those damn them floating donuts, and you
oh,
going
if the inflatables.
in the water. Oh my goodness. It's some stuff. I really like it. He said, wait a minute. That giant slide was crazy back in the day. My mom always was perfect at it. You know what
One
I
time.
you know what I used to do, Little
All
Maddie?
she got.
My daddy got mad at me one day. Instead of me
Oh.
sitting on that mat, I called myself trying to surf on that bad boy. Now I'm standing now, mind you, the giant slide goes down like this. I call myself standing on it, telling myself, "Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun."
Mm-mm. You know what's this? You know what you remind me of? Growing up, it was always a bunch of us in the house, cousins, and we were always up to something.
Right.
The cardboard boxes and the staircases.
Oh yeah, slide down the stairs. Oh, sis, let me tell you, I did some stuff. We used to climb up. I used to climb trees. I used to get on top
Too.
of garage, the roof of the garages, right? Now my cousins, I'm the oldest, so my cousins looking at me like, get down, you gonna get us in trouble. I used to flip off of them bad boys. One of my cousins did it. Y'all, let me tell you what happened to my cousin. His name's Kenny Kirk. He jumped When he jumped off of that bad boy, his legs end up going down and it hit the concrete. We heard he broke his bones, his pelvic bone all the way down. So he had to wear a cast from the waist down. And
How
he had to
long?
wear it for a whole year.
Mm,
I didn't get in trouble though.
mm,
I did get in trouble. I ain't tell him to get up there and jump. He wanted to call himself flipping. So
mm.
one time we went to Bill Isle, right, where the giant slide is. Now my brothers wasn't right for this one. So when you wearing a cast from the waist on down, he couldn't wear underwear and stuff. So my brother, he passed like, dang, what year was that? My son was born. Oh, he got, deleted. I'm gonna just say that in '94. and we used to go there, whatever. So Kitty Kerr had a cover like a sheet or something over him, so he just had a t-shirt and that was it. But his mom didn't want to keep him in the house, so she had a one of those station wagons, old station wagon. So he had to sit in the back and watch us play. Some girls came by, because there's a Bill Out strip. The girls came by telling us, "Hey, y'all." So my brothers was all, all my cousins stuff was flirting with him. Kenny Kerr called himself flirting with him too. And no, my brother didn't. Snatched that towel off of my cousin. The girls saw him naked from the waist down and started laughing at him. He was so embarrassed. Hi, hi, Anissa. Hey, Mona D. Oh my
Carpet.
God.
Oh
Hey,
my
Lady D.
gosh.
So yeah, it's just like, oh, Lady D had a question in here. What you got?
Lady
Um,
D, do you
yeah.
ladies feel about concept of black men serving in the military as part of being a man? Hmm. Well, that's something I have to ponder and think about.
Uh,
Maybe that's a topic for another show.
Me, no, no. That's I would see far as the discipline if they needed it. Um, by me being, I grew up
Oh,
in a military family,
Lady
so
D, are you referring to like a rites of passage program, something of that nature?
she probably is talking about that. But
I think rites of passage program should be mandatory. I don't know if serving in the military should be part of it. That's
no,
something I gotta think about. But
by me
for
being
men and ladies, rites of passage.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, but you don't have to go to the military for it. I have to say that that's where we used to have the mentorships. They don't have them no more. So the guys knew all about the discipline and everything else. So for me, a black man, our brothers going to the military for that, it don't make them no man. It would help them. I'm not saying that it didn't help a lot of people because we do have, military people, men that been in the military and everything else. But to me, I don't believe so. So, and like I said, I come from a straight military family. And my dad was dragged, when my father, they was in the 70s, they got drafted. So him and all his brothers went, and it was 5 of them. They all got drafted. My
Mm,
dad told me some horror stories about being in the army. My
mm,
grandfather was a paratrooper. He was a pilot and he was a paratrooper, and he did that in the Korean War. So I also knew of some guys that I went to school with that was in the what was that? What was that? Not the my dad and it was in the Vietnam War. It was one and Desert Storm. Do you know
mm.
a whole bunch of our brothers came back with Agent Orange?
Oh, the fume poisoning.
Yeah, it was in a system, and
Mm.
they had problems. A lot of their kids had birth defects. So it was a lot of stuff going on. I would say no, 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 brothers, no. If you want to go there, but I know I don't want my sons to go. I talked my kids out of it. My dad taught me out of it because I was talking about going into the military. My
Mm.
grandfather, my uncles, my daddy, they grabbed me. They say no. They didn't want me to do nothing. I went to Job Corps when I was 15. I wasn't supposed to been there. And they had all these trades, right? So I needed to get into a trade. So I went to it was called BAM, building and maintenance, right? The instructor told me I don't need to be there and he wasn't going to enroll me in that program.
Why?
He
Because
said,
you were a woman? Or
because I was a woman, for one. I was 15 at the time too. They was babying me, y'all. The whole entire job corps, from the security guards through the teachers, everybody except for the students that was there, because I got into fights. I got into a lot of fights because they didn't like me.
mm,
They didn't let me go in there. So I went to auto mechanic. They called them the grease monkeys. For people that went to job corps know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying that's what they called them. I went there and this man told me, he looked at me, he said, "Let me see your hands." I put my hands out. He said, "Girl, bye." He said, "You better go on and find you another trade. You're not coming in here." And the girls in there was laughing at me. He said, "You not like these girls up in here. You don't need to be one of them." He said, "Find something else." So I ended up doing
Mm.
the secretary, what they called it. It was office something that they had, but I wasn't even there long because my grandfather. I went AOA, y'all. I mean AOAW. What they call it, AWOL.
Wow.
I was getting stalked. I was 15. I was getting stalked by this 20-some-year-old guy up in there. He was following me around. I called my granddaddy. My father was in a VA hospital at the time because he had heart problems. So he was away. My dad didn't know I was in Job Corps. So I called my granddaddy, and my grandfather drove all the way from northern Michigan to Grand Rapids because I was at the Grand Rapids one. Horrible place. So I called my grandfather. I said, "This grown man is stalking me, granddad." He said, "What?" He said, "Do I have to come there with my hunting stuff?" I said, "Granddaddy, no." I said, "I just want to get up out of here." My grandfather told me, "Look, this is the day I'm coming. This is the time I'll be out there. Grab your box, come on out, and leave." A security guard there, he was cool. He knew I was going AWOL. He let me leave
Mm.
because he knew I was getting stalked up in there. And they was like, and Job Corps let anybody up in there. So that guy, come to find out, that guy had a record, and they allowed him in there. So I dodged the bullet on that one. So the people, I talked to my kids. I said, "Please don't go to Job Corps. I'll have nothing against the program, but that's a program. To me, that was just like a juvenile detention center.
Mm.
You ate when they told you to eat. You woke up when they told you to wake up, and you went to sleep when they told you had to go to sleep. Those places are miniature prisons. I don't care what anybody say. It helped a lot of people, and it also hindered and hurt a lot of people as well.
Mm.
So I don't boo the Job Corps.
Wow.
Yeah, that stuff was scary, y'all. I was like, "I'm not supposed to be here," and I was the youngest there. And then on top of it, this to show you how the GOVT is. They wasn't. I'm a government. Um,
Mm.
when it comes to enrolling kids, they wasn't even supposed to enroll me in there. I was 15 years old. I was
What
because
was
the
the age
16,
qualification?
16 to 21.
Mm.
And they end up putting me up in there, and I was looking like, "What the hell I'm in here for?" Because I was a straight A student in school. I wasn't a problem child, but that's a long story why my mother put me in there. But when my dad found out I was in there, just say he wasn't happy. Because
Mm.
I went to go visit him at the VA hospital in Battle Creek, and I told him what happened. I bet you I'd never go to no place without his permission again.
Ay, ay, ay.
That stuff is crazy. Women end up different after coming from job. Yes, he is right. Lou Matt just said that. I mean, they was having babies in there. Guys was coming through the windows. Let me tell y'all,
Whoa.
the Job Corps I was in, we was on the third floor. The guys was on the second floor, and the classes was on the third. I mean, on the final floor, right? So it was first, the second floor. First floor was the classes, second floor was the guys, the third floor was the sisters, right? So
Crazy.
we had a vent thing that the girls would be right there talking to the guys from downstairs. So that was the way they could communicate. Like I said, it was like a prison. I worked in one, so I know what I'm talking about. It was like a prison. So they just talking and stuff. They hooking up. It's so many girls got pregnant up in that bad boy. They was having relations on the landings. They was outside in the fields. This job corps I went to, they had barbed wire on a fence. What did you do with barbed
Whoa.
fence? I was looking at that place. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all, when they told my mom, they was like, "Oh, your daughter would love it because when they got horses, it's countryside, this, and that, third." Y'all, when I tell y'all, it was me and a whole bunch of people. We was at the because the Job Corps buses would pick you up at the Greyhound station, near downtown Detroit. So as soon as you get on that bad boy, when they pick you up, they take you to where they gotta take you to. Soon as we got off the expressway, I looked at Grand Rapids because that was my first time going to Grand Rapids. I was like, where in the hell is we at? Girl, everybody on that bus was singing Too Short the Ghetto. Do you hear me? We was all singing the ghetto. It was bad. That place looked like a it
Wait, so
looked
your mom never actually saw it?
no, that's what they told her. They said, "Oh, and she'll like it there and all this other stuff." And soon as we got there, girl, we was like, doom, 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 doom. It was like,
Mm-mm.
it was horrible. That's the worst experience. I only been there for 2 months. 2 months. I was gone. But a lot of girls I know that went there, like I said, they didn't turn out well. Cause I used to, when I got in contact with a few of them, like they had their reunions and stuff, and they was talking to me. Some of them just got in predicaments that's not good. It's like I said, it's a miniature prison. It's like a juvenile detention center. And I never been in trouble in my life. And everybody was telling me I shouldn't even been up in there because I come to find out a lot of those kids that was up in there were they've been in and out of juvenile. Some been in jail,
Mhm.
some been in prison, and they put them up in there. And thus I had to deal with that grown man that
16
was
to
up in there.
21.
Yeah, 16 to 21. And yeah, it's a lot because they start off real, if they being juvenile, the youngest I heard a kid being up in juvenile, especially the juvenile place in Detroit. I forgot the name of it. But the youngest I heard was 8 years old up in that bad boy. 8. 8 years old. But we know why these kids like I went over it on my show yesterday about how these mothers, I'm back on this, how the mothers treat their children. You wonder why it's a lot of troubled kids, but nobody looking at the core surface like their home, what's going on with them at their house. And it's always I know a lot of people don't like for me to say it or anybody say it, is single home. Sometimes even with both parents, because say for instance, you have a father that's present physically, but he's not present there. He's not present for them children. He's just there.
Mhm.
He's getting high, he's an alcoholic, he doing whatever, he running the streets, he's selling drugs, he doing this, he doing that.
Oh,
And the mama ain't caring, so she doing what she doing, or both of them partying and leaving these kids at home. And we hearing a lot about these kids being left home alone. Like I mentioned, excuse me, y'all. I mentioned about this 15-year-old girl. She called the police. Sis, she was 15. Her mama, she told the police this. She said, "Look, I called y'all. I'm sick of this stuff. My mama, she left me with 2 kids. We have no food in the house. When I say it was no food, y'all, it was no food in the cabinets. It was no food in the refrigerator. She was left with a 1-year-old baby and a 3 to 4-year-old baby by herself. She said her mother had plenty of boyfriends and leave every day, every damn day.
mm.
And she was tired of it. And you could tell that baby was stressed. So it's a lot of that. A lot of people not gonna talk about that, but it's a lot of that. A lot of that goes on. These kids, you wonder why these kids turn out the way they do is because they deal with something like that at home. And that's sad. I feel sorry for a lot of those kids.
Mhm. That environment make or break you.
Yeah, but a
Mm.
lot of people don't deserve that title mother. They be like, I brought you in this world, I take you out. Okay. All right, fine. We'll see how it work out. But it's a lot of them been doing it. Oh, today, y'all, I saw on the news. I forgot. Damn, I forgot. Excuse me, y'all. I forgot where it was at. They said it's been a total of 6 children dropped off of an expressway, and they end up, passing. The mothers will drop them off at a field on a highway because they did not want their kids no more. instead of taking them to the to the fire station or stuff like that. And by the time they get to those babies, they expired. So much for so-called women's rights. You don't want your children. Give them to their fathers. If their father's not available, then find another avenue, not drop them off in a field where they're defenseless. That was crazy. And I seen that about like a couple of hours ago on the news. It was somewhere, I think it was somewhere down south. All you can do is shake your head on that.
Wow.
Oh, somebody said, was that Braxton the Snake Fiend said, it's been an unspoken rule in the black community. No matter what, she's still your mother. Gladly and thankfully, that's backwards theory is still starting to dwindle and crumble. Yeah, you know what I did? I was on who was that with the Harrises? He said
Oh,
show. I love that show. I was on there.
it's
They
so
started
sweet.
laughing. This is what I said. You know that song, tell me something. I always love my mama. I add something to that.
What was it? The Mama Soul Food song?
No, no, no. It's an old song. Um, I think it's Four Tops or Temptation, somebody, one of them.
Okay.
And they
Okay.
always love my mama. And they say she's my favorite girl. I,
Oh, okay.
I said, always love my mama. She can do no wrong. That's
Mm,
which is true. Come on, y'all. It's a lot of us had those traumas we don't want to talk about. We be like, because the mothers be like, well, I did my best and this and that and the third. And that's why I was saying yesterday that we really have to change that cycle because when we have our kids, what we do, how we was raised, we put that on our kids and we continue that cycle.
and
And
sometimes, even though we're trying to change, we aren't even aware of what's ingrained in us from our upbringing.
mhm.
So,
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's a lot of stuff you have to look at, but
self-reflection.
keeping your kids busy, doing what you got to do with them. Give them some good, you know what I'm saying? Give them some good memories. Don't give them the memories that you had. Cause sis, you have to go on my what I did yesterday and watch the whole thing and see the videos that I found. Them women is out their damn mind. They think they kids owe them. I don't owe my mama nothing. I love my mother. I don't owe her anything because I was not in her ear say lay down and have fun with my daddy. Being honest, I didn't say that. And the same with my kids. How I look telling my kids, oh, I don't, oh, is if it's I would be here or I could be doing this, I could be doing that, but instead I had to give birth to y'all. I blaming my kids for me
Boy.
having the fun I wanted to have at that moment. I'm being honest, for me having the fun that I wanted to have at that moment, and I end up getting pregnant. I'm not about to put that on my kids, but
Wow.
do that. And that's why these kids hear all the time the mother's like, oh, you ruined my life, and I have stretch marks, and you did this to my body. Everybody heard this. I could be this, that, and the third. And if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't. No, 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 no. No, you'll be in the same position you're in today, with or without your child. I'm just gonna be honest on that one.
Mm,
Stop blaming y'all kids, y'all. Stop blaming your kids.
mm, mm, mm. So with that,
Yeah.
we'll move on to topic number 2. Dear volunteer. Dear volunteer. And so roll over that conversation to this one
Right.
about volunteering. A lot of our
Mhm.
kids, they need us because they're in these situations and they're hopeless. There are a lot of children that don't know who they are, haven't been given the opportunity to know themselves. They feel worthless because of environments like such as that. So they need us, those who are able, get out there and get with some type of organization where you
Right.
can volunteer to help our kids so they can have at least a little glimmer of hope, a little glimmer of hope. But not just our children, our elderly.
Mhm.
In the Black community, we tend to throw our elderly away. And I'm speaking on, and it could be hard to differentiate, but the elders, not the older people
Yep.
who just they age but they don't mature. I'm
Mhm.
speaking on the elders.
Exactly. It's a difference between the 2.
Yes, there's a difference.
Right.
Um, Help them out. If you can go grab their groceries for them, or cut
Exactly.
their grass for them, or do whatever you can.
Right. You know what, sis? I had my kids to do that. Now, mind you, I have birthed 3 boys, 1 girl. So what I did do with my sons and my daughter when they was in kindergarten, all of them. I used to work in the nursing homes. So I used to bring them up to the nursing homes. We used to have grandparents day. So that's when you bring the workers will bring their kids up in there and they, have activities with them. Now, this one nursing home, I implemented that whole program, y'all. So I got it all together and stuff. The kids come there painting with the elder people. They having a good time. And the people that's in the nursing homes to me are senior prisons. And I will say that because I am a state's ombudsman. So in other words, when I seen something, I reported it. I didn't give a damn if you was giving me a paycheck or not. If you treating those people the way bad enough, some family members wasn't taken care of. It was a lot of family members didn't even come and see their family, the fathers, the mothers, aunts, whatever. And in nursing homes, I heard it was a fake study. This lady said that it's more men, elder men that's alone in the nursing homes than women. Wrong. It's more women, single women in those nursing homes than there are men. A lot of the men that are in the nursing homes, they were married and or they had like ailments. They came in to get rehabilitation and stuff and it went the wrong way and they end up getting stuck there. So they, in other words, their health declined. But I dealt with more women up in these nursing homes than I had men patients. So they really needed that. So what I used to do with my kids, I used to have them to make pictures. I used to take it up to the nursing homes, put pictures up on their walls. And the first thing was like, oh, my babies,
And
look at my
yeah,
babies.
light up.
Sus, I'm telling you, they really loved it. I had one lady, one girl, I'm not gonna say lady, just one girl I took care of a home care. She Her name was Megan. And I was taking care of her and she couldn't speak or anything. At first she was able to run around, play everything else. She had some illness to where it took her sight at first, then it took her mobility, and then she started being on 2 feet and stuff. I would talk about her because she passed away like about 15 years ago. So, she had her sister there, Caitlin, that was my girl. Her sister was there and stuff. So every time she get home, she's like, "Hi, Megan," and you hear Megan's like, that's the only thing she do. So I said,
Mm.
"Megan," I said, "You want me to bring Jade here?" Tell my daughter. She was like, she get real excited. So with my daughter was little, y'all. She was young. So when I used to bring my daughter there, Megan loved Disney cartoons. So I always put it on there for her. So when Jade used to come, Jade used to climb in the bed with her and she'll be hugged up with her and read her a story. Megan was so happy about that. And I was so happy I was able to do that for her. So I was telling my boss, her mother, I said, I like to bring my kids around so they can be able to know about, what mama do. And I want them to have humanitarian services. So they'll have that. So I incorporated that with all my kids. But, I always made sure every place I worked at, children was involved. They come there, they have fun with the residents or the patients, and it was something to give the children. They help serve. They will, it was social skills, and a lot of times these kids don't have no social skills. So
Oh,
and
respect.
but you know what? When when I moved up north, it was a elementary school. All my kids had to go there, right? They thought that my kids had a older. an elder parent. I was young. I had all my, I was young. I was in my 20s when I had all my kids. So they was looking. They was like, I went up there to see my kids' parent teacher conference day. They looked. They said hi. I said I'm here for I ain't gonna say the last name of my children. And they was like, "Oh, you must be their sister." I said, "No, I'm their mother." You should have seen their mouth drop. They said,
Mhm.
"Your kids know how to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, thank you, excuse me." They was well mannered because I taught them that, and by me implementing, putting them, letting them be around elders and learning those social skills and having the patience with them because a lot of my patients had Alzheimer's, dementia, and a lot of times you have to with those you have to repeat things with
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
have
Mhm.
patience with them. And that's why I used to train CNAs all the time because I had to put a program, I had to teach CNAs how to deal with Alzheimer's and dementia patients because I used to tell them all the time, and anybody that dealt with a family member that had Alzheimer's and dementia, when you deal with them and you have that spirit of anger on you, that's when they want to fight you. You have to
Mm.
have a certain demeanor about yourself. They have to feel safe about, safe around you. If they don't feel safe around you, they're fighting. So I used to tell women all the time, I said, look, when you come to work, I said, whatever you got going on at home, you leave that ish at the door before you come in. Because if you come on my unit with that attitude, guaranteed you're gonna get your butt whooped. They thought I was lying. I said, I've been doing this type of work since I was 17 years old. So, I had plenty of years in that. And I really miss it some of the time. Believe me, I really miss it because, I had so many they call me the granddaughters. I had so many of them. I loved a lot of them. I had dealt with all races, so I end up dealing. I had a lot of friendships with these people. I had friendships with the family that was there. I made sure that I took care of them the way they deserve to be taken care of. And now they have it to where if you have family members up in these nursing homes, they treat them like crap. If you don't come check on, even if you do come check on them, they phony when the family there. Once the family leaves, it's on and popping. I don't know how many times, y'all, I had to write women up, grown women up for not changing patients. They be
Oh,
so
come on.
story time. My
Mm.
step grandmother. I go back further. My kid's grandmother, my ex-husband's mother, she was in a nursing home. I had to put her in the nursing home because she had a stroke and she went in there for rehabilitation. She was mad as hell I put her in there. I was like, "Mama, I have to put you in here for rehabilitation because I was working." I said, "I can't take care of you." I said, "But I promise you, when I get off of work every day, I will bring your grandkids up here and I will take care of you for a few hours." Tell me why I went to this nursing home. Mama wasn't even changed. They did not bathe her. They didn't do anything for her. So I get up in there and I clean her up. She didn't want me to touch her, y'all. I cleaned this woman. I cleaned her up. I said, "Mama, let me clean you up." She fought me. She was like, "Fine, forget it, because I'm gonna get cleaned up." This woman always did for herself. She never drove a car. She walked everywhere she wanted, everywhere. Yeah, everywhere. She did not drive.
Mm.
So, she was very independent. I took care of her, whatever. So the aide come up in there. I ripped her a new one, y'all. This girl gonna tell me she wouldn't let me do this, that, and the third. Now, let me show y'all how much ties I have here in Michigan with all the nursing homes. She called herself getting mad at me because you didn't do your job. So the administrator was there. So I ended up going into the administrator's office. The administrator was like, "Wait a minute, you used to work here." I said, "Yes, I worked at all nursing homes here in Michigan." All, not one was not from Traverse City all the way down to Monroe. That was me. So she was
Mm.
like, "Oh my God." But I told her this, I told her my ex-mother-in-law's name, right? She was like, "Wait a minute." She said, "That last name sound familiar." She said, "Oh my God." And she went to go see her. She was like, "That's my best friend's auntie." She ripped old girl a new one. Guess what? Old girl got fired because when I showed her what I had to change my mother-in-law's bedding. I had to wash her bed. I had to take her out of the bed. I had to wash her bed. I had to do all these things. So she got booted up out of there. My my grandma step grandmother, it was the same thing. I went up to the nursing home. Me and her never had a relationship, y'all. I never called her my grandmother. That's a long story. I never called her my grandmother. But I ended up when she got sick and I knew she was passing, I had to do what I had to do, make sure she was okay, right? So I get to the nursing home. They had her car like tied up behind the headboard. And she saw me, she was like, "Baby, they took my car light." I said, "What?" I saw the car light balled up, taped up to the bed where she couldn't get to it. Now, this woman was very frail and very like 70, 80 pounds.
Mm.
And she told me how this aide was treating her, this, that, and the third. So the aide walked in. She gonna tell me, "Excuse me, who is you?" Now I would say the name of this McCray. This is my daddy's side of the family. So I was like, so did you change her, Miss McCray? She said, "She be on that call like all the time. She don't need to be changed." I said, "Little helper." I said, I said, "Little helper." I said, you can get fired for this, right?" I said, "That's considered a
Mm.
you take the call lights." A lot of people don't know that they take the call lights. Family, if y'all go see family members, you don't see the call lights tied up where they able to reach it. You're able to report that, and that's considered abuse, and that's also considered a restraint, and they're not supposed to do that. So don't overlook that when they tie that up and they have it behind the bed. So I
Mhm.
found myself going on this lady, this and that, and the third. But yeah, those nursing homes, they something else. It's like every place I went to. And with my grandfather, he passed. This is the last one. My grandfather, he passed not too long ago. We went to go see him. Now, mind you, when your family members get enrolled in these nursing homes, excuse me, it's a such thing called as a is a it's called an assessment, right? So
Mm.
that's when your family member come into the nursing home. They have to give them a bath soon as they get there. Actually, after the nurses do the vital signs, this, that, and the third, the aide go in there and they have to give them a bath. They have to bring all the necessities in the room, clean them up. The reason why is because when a person come up in the nursing home, you have to do a skin assessment. By me being the wound care, you have to do a skin assessment and put on a chart for the state if they have bruises on them, if they
Oh.
they have cuts, they have bed sores, you have to put that in there. So that way, that's supposed to cover the nursing homes behind if they come out with it, if they have a bed sore or something like that, right? So we get there to see my grandfather. Mind you, my grandfather been there a few days. My grandfather's mouth wasn't clean. They had no toothpaste in there. They had nothing in there. That's how I knew they didn't check. They didn't do anything for my grandfather. So I'm in there cleaning them out. Mind you, this is another nursing home I worked at. I used to work at up north. And I'm cleaning my grandfather's mouth, y'all. My granddaddy turned around, looked at me. He was like, "Ah," he said, "Thank you, baby." You know, I'm just saying, y'all go and y'all check on y'all family members when they in these places, because keep an eye on everything. They can tell you A, B, C, D, and E, but even when the families come there, it was one like down here. This was like in Clinton Township. This is the last one, y'all. I was telling my husband, this one man, he wasn't my patient, but I used to go in there check on him, right? Y'all, trigger warning. Tell me why when I was turning this man because he needed to be turned, his rib cage lift up. Y'all heard me. His rib cage lift up. They dropped this man, didn't tell the family that they dropped him. So I ended up calling the family myself. And I called his daughter and I was like, I forgot her name. Anyway, I'm not gonna say her name. Anyway, I called her. I said, "I need you to come up here to the nursing home." She was like, "What's wrong?" I said, I said, I can't really talk because I'm at the nurse's station. I said, but soon as you get here, let me know. And I come outside and I talk to you in the car. I told her what was going on. She came in the room and I told her, I said, sweetheart, I said, can I show your daughter what I was talking about, what I seen? He was like, sure. He lift up his gown. And like I said, you can lift up his rib cage, y'all, from the bottom.
That's gross.
You know, they told this woman that he came in like that. He been there for years. They don't know how that happened. And she was coming there every day to check on her daddy faithfully. She was like, no, this not how it happened, this, that, and the third. They was trying to gaslight this woman. Those places don't care about the people. They just getting the money. And I feel sorry for them. And really, to me, nursing homes shouldn't even be there. They shouldn't be here. If you're able to take care of your family member, fine. But to me, have home care for them. But make sure you vet those aides. If you can't vet them, have cameras in your homes.
Mm.
I advise everybody that if you have home care, I have a family member, have cameras, hidden cameras up in there, and you will find out a lot of these aides, they just hire aides. They just hiring them off the street. When I was a CNA, CENA, not a CNA, a CENA is different from a CNA.
Mm.
I went to school, American Red Cross. I went to that. I had that program for a whole year, y'all. Now the CNA programs is only 2 weeks.
Oh,
They not teaching them nothing. Nothing. So everybody
oh,
is so
those are some really extensive
yeah, it's a
courses.
revolving door. It's a revolving door. You know,
Mm.
it's a revolving door of aides. So they're always going to have openings for CNAs. But a lot of them that they hiring, they don't have empathy. They don't have sympathy. They only there for a paycheck. What I had always kept in my mind when I was working in them, that the job isn't the ones, although the job is giving me the paycheck, if it wasn't for my patients, I wouldn't have a paycheck. I wouldn't have a job. And to me, like I was telling a lot of girls that I was teaching when I worked at Michigan Works, when I was teaching the CNA courses to them, I said, you always have to keep this in mind. Your patients are the ones that sign your paycheck. So you have to make sure you do what you have to do for pay. Even if you have a patient that call you, I had patients calling me all kinds of names. You know what I'm saying? I used to tell them all the time. I was like, you want to be taken care of or not? Can I take care
Mhm.
of you? And they be like, oh, I don't want you to touch me. I said, well, you're gonna be wet all day. I don't think you want to be wet all day, do you? He's like, I don't want to be wet. I said, well, you're gonna let me clean you up then. They was like, whatever, fine. You know what I'm saying? I didn't walk out nobody's room. I ain't walk out. You wasn't being have your attitude after you can have your attitude after I'm done cleaning you up, making sure you taken care of. Because I know for a fact, if I was in that situation, I wouldn't want that done. When I was in the hospital and I had surgery, y'all, I almost expired. Really,
Mm.
I ended up having a surgery, emergency surgery. It went haywire. I had to be in the hospital for a week. I was telling my husband, although my husband was after work, my husband and my mom was making, because my mom had to come down and live with us for 3 weeks to take care of me. That's how bad off I was. So, although my husband was coming to visit me at the hospital, although my mom was coming to visit me at the hospital, they was not cleaning me. They did not change me. And this was a hospital. The aides didn't touch me not one time. Not one time. It took a nurse. Now, mind you, I was a fall risk. I
Mm.
don't tell me I need to go to the bathroom. Guess what? They never came to the room to help me.
Mm.
Those are hospitals too, and I worked at hospitals. They the same way. You have to be real careful with your family members and with yourself. They don't care. All they care about is the paycheck, and that's why I'm getting at when it comes to these aides. They not teaching them. They need training for a whole year. Home care, they the same, they do the same stuff. You really have to watch it. Although home care is expensive because I used to run a home care business. So I already know how I actually owned my home care business. So I actually do. I hired my mother, I hired my ex sister-in-law. My ex-sister-in-law was the housekeeper. My mother was a caregiver, and I was a caregiver as well because I made sure I was doing some work as well. But I was coming there to make sure everything was everything because I had to deal with a lawyer that dealt with insurance cases. So
Mm.
to really be on it. Mine was small, but I was still able to make some money. But at the same time, we did what we supposed to do to make sure that these clients was taken care of because we when you have say for instance, if you have some aides that goes into these homes that work for the home care business would never let these aides know that there are cameras in these homes. And it's for a good reason.
Why,
Have y'all
why wouldn't someone just assume that there are cameras?
they sis, it's so many people, it's so many aides that steal out the homes, that
Not very
abuse,
bright.
abuse they do all this stuff. They abuse the people. They do a lot of stuff. They embezzle, and we hear a lot of cases about that. That's why I say you got to be careful on who you letting in the homes with your family members.
Mm.
Even when they stand with you, you have to watch that. So that's my rant on that one, y'all. I'm just saying from experience, been in that field for about almost 30 years. I know what I'm talking about. Y'all really have to watch people with that. So that
Hmm.
is beyond crazy.
Yeah, volunteering nursing homes. Just going in, reading to them, whatever you can do. Sometimes just going to just sitting with them for a little bit. I have had little experience because my uncle was in one, and they look like they're just withering away.
Mhm.
They just light up. I used to go in with my baby, and she would play her little ukulele. Oh my gosh, they
Uh,
would just light up.
they world.
Hmm.
They world. Cause sis when and because especially if they in those nursing homes, they looking at four walls. Imma tell you how early they get the people up. Anybody else working one know what I'm talking about. 5 o'clock in the morning, midnight shift, have to get people up out the bed. They get them up, they dress them, they put them in a wheelchair, whatever, and put them in the hallway.
Yes, they would just park there.
I'm not y'all know I'm not lying. Around breakfast, they don't eat breakfast until 8 or 9 o'clock. Then they eat lunch around 12. See how close it is for them to feed them? 12 o'clock, they eat again. Then they have their activities anywhere between 1 to 3 o'clock. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock roll around, then that's when they feed them dinner. Around 8 to 9 o'clock, they putting them to bed. And if they have some down, what they call them sundowners, it's some people that have sundowners. Sundowners come from where if a person, like say for instance, they work the job midnight shift, so their sleeping patterns are different. So
Mm.
as sundowners they sleep all day and stay up all night, they will force them to change their sleeping pattern to keep them up all day. And guess what? That's when you go into these nursing homes and you see the people sleeping in their bed in the chairs and they be slumped over.
Yep, yep. They be
Are the sundowners.
slumped.
Those are the sundowners, and on top of it, they also give them medication to make them sleep as well. So you have to be careful. But the volunteering thing with it is real good for the children. Is good for you. You can go to. They have senior place centers that you can go. You can volunteer. You can go around and pick up. Like go to pantries for because I used to do this. You go to pantries for seniors in your community. Pick up the pantries that the things that they need and drop them off. That's another thing you can do far as service, volunteer service, because a lot of seniors cannot get out their homes. You can also, like you said, cut the grass and everything else because they need that. And although they have family, they don't have family. You feel me? They have family, but they don't have family. So, I used to have my kids used to go around with a lawnmower and used to cut the elders grass in the neighborhood too. So,
Yep, yep.
yeah.
the homeless shelters, volunteer there.
Yep.
Animal shelters. There's different programs for animal shelters that will even allow you to foster animals.
Yeah, they do. I can't do it though. Look, I got one, and I got
I
my
want to, but I can't. But I want to.
sis, let me tell you, I got a little Animal Planet up in our house right now. Okay, we have a a old English bulldog. He's a big baby. I think he's about what 6, 7 years old now. I have a miniature poodle mixed with a Shih Tzu. She
Mm.
is a wow. She's so sweet. My daughter have a cat. Her name is Jinx. Now, mind you, I have to deal with Jinx. I have to deal with Bubbles. That's my little baby, Bubbles. And I have to deal with Jedi, which is the big dog. So I'm hearing roof, 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 and meow. No, I can't. That's enough charity for me to do. That's enough charity. So I'm watching, Bubbles chase Jinx around the house. They just zip, 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 zip. They got the zoomies. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on that one. Now I'll probably volunteer to go in the place or whatever, whatnot, but
Hmm. They even have programs for children. I'm sure there's some programs for adults as well, but programs for children in my area that allow the kids to go in to sit with the animals and read with them.
yeah.
They'll if you make you can make snacks, you can make inexpensive snacks, take
Mhm.
them in and feed them. Some programs will let you take the dogs out on the property and walk them around. Things like that. You can do a neighborhood watch. I know that's rare nowadays. But I remember growing up having a neighborhood watch, and it was great for bonding in the community.
Mhm.
Um, Thinking of what was that, the Martin episode? They were doing the neighborhood watch, and somebody, the leader of the neighborhood watch, was the one stealing.
I know,
I'm
right?
sorry, I had a flashback. It's
But
so
you know what?
crazy.
The pets too, sis. Like say for instance, if you have a certain breed of a dog, not a bulldog like I have, but say for instance, like Bubbles, you have a dog like that. You're able to go to a nursing home, go to a senior place, go to assisted living home.
They
They
love
will allow
that.
you to bring the pets up in there to spend time with the residents,
They love that
and
because
they
I can
love
you,
that.
you can
Children and pets,
imagine.
children and pets.
You can imagine a lot of the elders, they have to relinquish their animals because of the situation.
Hmm.
How how depressing that is for them. Because
Yeah.
those are their babies. Often they don't have any other relatives.
Hmm.
Yes,
So
yes.
that would be something. Kids and pets is the main thing that'll light up a seniors, elders. It'll mean the world to them. So that's something to get into.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cleaning the neighborhood. If you don't want to be around people, I sometimes because I'm really introverted and I have to do things because my daughter is not introverted. Well, even if she wasn't, even if
Uh,
she was introverted, I still got to get her out there and do things.
right.
Like just to be the two of us or alone, just going around your neighborhood and cleaning up, picking up garbage,
Mm-hmm.
um, things like that. It makes a huge impact, not just on the surrounding area, but on yourself. Getting out there in the sun,
Right.
movement, because you you squatting, picking all that stuff. You have your little stick. It's a good workout.
Sis, we have some comments up in here.
Hey, Edward.
See.
See here. Do y'all
And we
remember
have a question.
teammates? They had training dogs in prison. Yes,
Yep.
yes, it was so cool.
Yep.
That was so cool. And they loved those dogs. They didn't want to part with them. They were crying.
Right. Right. Exactly.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
they actually love it because they really like supposed to be for like a bonding. And the ones in the prison, come on now, they just seeing four walls. They dealing with it's stressful up in there. They dealing with a whole bunch of stuff because it is some innocent people in those prisons too.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
a lot of our brothers in there innocent. So
Now I'm wondering if there are any type of volunteer programs for them.
no,
Oh gosh.
no, other than
Something I
they
have to look into.
that thing, but I don't think so. But because they so stringent on that because they already having problems with their COs bringing in contraband inside the buildings.
Mm, mm,
So
ugh.
yeah, so they and then the COs up in there doing the do with the inmates too, and it's so much stuff. So, um, but I do know, say for instance, I had what's this Macomb County Jail. Um, when I had a patient there, she fell off the second or third floor, and she tried to commit, I'm not gonna say, and she was on a one-on-one watch. So when I got up in there, they were
Mm,
me and everything, made sure I didn't bring anything in, this, and that, and the third. And I felt depressed being up in there watching her. I had to one on one means you have to sit there, you have to, it's a S watch. Everybody know what I'm talking about. It's S watch.
mm-hmm.
So I had to sit there and watch her. And I felt the depression all up in that place. I said, Lord, I'm so all praises. I never had to deal with being in a spot like that, but I'm telling y'all, being in that place remind me of Job Corps. I'm gonna go back to that.
Did,
It
did they
remind me.
allow you to read or play music or anything like that? You just had to sit there?
I was able to bring my headphones, listen to it, and also I had a they allowed me to bring my phone in there with me, so which was good.
Okay.
So, I wanted to bring my laptop, and I'm sitting in there for 8 to 12 hours with this lady, but I couldn't bring all that in because I guess the fear of the other inmates still in a want to fight me for it, because they don't have that in there, and they fight over electronics so they can call and talk to who they want to talk to. So they very stringent. That's why I said I don't believe that they have any volunteer anything when it comes to those prisons.
Mm, wow.
But the pet thing the
Golly.
pet thing I could see, but anything else, no, no. You'll have a
Edward
better
says,
you'll have a better chance with the seniors.
Edward says prison should be about reform just as much as it is about punishment. Yes, I think, but penitentiary stands from repentance or repenting, something of that nature.
Ain't
Yeah.
nothing repenting about it, because it's a revolving door. They go out, they go right back in.
Mm, mm, mm.
It's a trap.
Ay, ay, ay.
It's a
So
trap.
we had a list of ways to volunteer, but I'm sure you all can think of others. Um, there are plenty of ways. Like I said, if you don't care to be around people, there are plenty other ways to volunteer. You
Mhm,
can volunteer with the animals, or you can do things on your own
mhm.
to help the community.
Yep.
So we're going to rock and roll on to topic number 3. Please and thank you, David. So we have Indio. Yeah, we and see. All different words, different ways to say yes.
Exactly.
Learning a new language. Learning a new language is an awesome hobby, and it's so great for your neurons and your development and just exploring different cultures. Indio is yes in Swahili. Ja is yes in German. We French, see Spanish.
Yep.
Does anyone speak another language
I'm
or would
learning.
like to learn a new language?
I'm learning, and the good me and my husband actually is learning. We have it's called Duolingo, and it's a app that you can put on your phone. It's called Duolingo. Any language that you want to learn, you're able to learn it on that. And it's a fun game, and it's fun games and everything on there. And they question, you have the quizzes and stuff, but you'll really like it.
I'm gonna drop it in the chat. Just found it. Duolingo.
You, Edward, we appreciate you.
Thank you, Edward, darling.
Yeah, but it's called Duolingo. It's fun,
Yeah.
and then when you're not on it, the bird get mad at you if you miss a few days. It be mad at you. It be, at first it be smiling if you do what you're supposed to do. Like, say for instance, on my phone, you know how you have the apps on there? It'll be a smiley face on there if you've been on it like you're supposed to. And if you haven't been on there, he becomes depleted and everything. And he be beat up and stuff. And
Okay.
yeah.
So we have Edward Gilbert,
Hmm.
$5 for chat for the ladies dropping dimes.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes. Anyone speak? Yo. I'm gonna butcher this. Yo hablo un poquito español. Un poquito. Yo tengo un novio de dominicano muchos años antes de y 3 años en la escuela. So I said I speak a little Spanish. I had a Dominican boyfriend years ago
Mhm.
and 3 years of Spanish in school. And I worked at quite a few places where there was a lot of my coworkers were Spanish, so that
Bilingual.
helped reinforce it. I
Right.
can. They speak so fast
Oh,
that it's
yeah.
hard for me to catch. I'm better at that's English too. That's just me. That's me. I'm better at reading and writing than listening
Yeah.
or speaking.
Yeah. Because
That's English and Spanish.
and then
Um,
you have they have to roll off your tongue a certain way.
roll your tongue. Roll your tongue.
Y'all should see me.
Roll.
But you know
Look,
what?
teacher like beat that into us. You have to roll it. Roll it. She was
Good.
aggressive.
In school, let me tell you what was the first language I called myself trying to pick up, and this was in middle school. They had Japanese at the school. Here I go. Oh, I want to be in that class. Y'all, I tell y'all, I couldn't deal with it because it was the way it was sounding. I said, you know what, I'm done. I can't do it. And then I end up having
Yeah,
to
that's
take
challenging.
it's real challenging because it's like when you speaking it, you have to have the facial expressions with it, and you look so crazy. I seen one of my classmates. I was like, "Oh, oh!" I was like, "Okay, I ain't doing this no more." I was done, y'all. I was done. It's like you was doing. He was doing karate with his face. So I was like, I can't. I'm just being honest. I can't do it. But this was in middle school, so I didn't know. And then when I got older and I started seeing it, it was much easier. Yeah, it wasn't that hard, but
Oh,
it's
hello.
high.
Are you Japanese? Oh, goodness.
But I couldn't. I was like, I was trying to learn it, but my dad know how to read it. He knew how
So
to
that's
read
not
it.
true. Speak fast.
Yeah, and
Really? He read it?
I have Latinos in my family, so yeah, speak fast. But when the Japanese, my dad knew how to read it because he went over Japan, and my grandfather went in
Cool.
Korea and Japan. So my grandfather spoke, Ko- what they were speaking in Korea. He spoke Japanese. He spoke French. Actually, my grandfather he spoke 8 different languages. And I was, like, amazed with it, and my dad, knew he could translate. He didn't speak it that much, but he can translate when people talk, and it was, like, about 4 languages. So,
Oh,
by them traveling
awesome.
like that was, cool on their part, but me, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, but when someone's speaking, Espanol to me, I can understand it. I understand everything they saying, and they be looking like, "But you don't speak it, but I can understand it."
Mm.
So, which is cool,
That's
but
funny how our minds work differently. It's so cool. So
mhm,
cool. We have Nanashi, Nanashi no Monogatari. Haha, I speak Japanese. I happen to walk in on that statement. LOL, believe it or not. If you can speak Spanish, you can speak Japanese. The phonetics are the same. Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Oh, that gives me hope. That gives me hope.
But
Because
you know what? I haven't even looked back into Japanese, and,
I'm a
any
dose.
time I dealt with that was, like, middle school, so I'll get back into that one, but I'm on Spanish right now, so
I'm a dose, but oh, can you bring it back up? I'm a dose, but went over there to study martial arts, and I was there when I was in the Air Force.
mhm,
Okay. Okay. I want to learn as many as possible. It is so much you can learn from the culture, just
right.
learn the language. And who was it? Someone in the chat mentioned Secretaria.
Yeah,
Oh, Edward, it's best to learn from people in the culture, not the crap they teach in school. Yes, working in those different
yeah,
restaurants, really, where a lot of my coworkers were Spanish, that definitely helped to reinforce. They taught me a lot of different slang and
mhm,
just it's different. It's different. And I think it is important to learn from native speakers.
right.
And hey, Trey Boo,
That's right.
Swahili, Slavic, French, and Spanish for yes.
But guess
Yes.
guess
Mhm.
what language I can understand?
What's
Ojib
that?
Ojibwe. That
Ojibwe.
that
Ojibwe.
is Ojibwe, that is Native American.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, I can understand it. My great-grandmother spoke it, and y'all should see me. I was learning to just that's all she spoke. She never spoke English. But, I ended up finding out that Ojibwe was the same, language as Hebrew, and I did not know that at the time.
Oh,
So, I was just sitting there like, "Wow," I was just amazed with it, and I ended up, learning listening to her. And my grandmother's side, my dad's, mother, is, Latino. So, I was able to listen to a lot of them speak as well, but a lot of, from what I've seen and from what I know, like I said, my family, my dad's side was military. They learned all those languages going overseas, and that's how they
they had to
ended up
learn it to get by.
they have to learn it because they don't know if somebody say shoot and they looking around just like, you know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
they have to learn that. That's a good
We
good
have, let's see, Edward. I have an ex from St. Lucia that speaks French, Spanish, Creole, Patois, and English. Exactly. They are, oh, thank you, David. Exactly. They are more willing to teach you. They see it as a sign of respect if you ask them to teach you. Yeah, yes. Now, like I said, I worked in quite a few different restaurants,
Mhm.
and because I knew a bit of Spanish and I was willing to learn and communicate and respect, the Spanish that were there, I was treated a little differently. Look, I got my meals a little faster, which made me better tips, so absolutely, absolutely.
Right.
Because it's sad. It's sad, but I've seen people treat Spanish just as less than just because they're Spanish.
Yep.
And they pick up on that. They pick up on
It's called, Spanglish. It's called
that.
Spanglish.
Let's see.
It's so bad.
Nanashi, no, Nanashi, your best bet is getting Spanish under your belt and possibly a language from the continent. Choose your flavor of West Africa, possibly Swahili to have coverage in East Africa. Now, I told my daughter, because I know a little Spanish, but I told my daughter before we learn any other language, because she want to learn French or whatever, I said, we're going to learn, well, she is. I unfortunately don't have the time right now, but she's going to learn an African language. So she took Swahili courses
Mhm.
online, and she has her Swahili book. And I was just asking, I was putting together this list today. I was asked, I said, honey, what's yes in Swahili? I said, boy, you fail. You fail. I said, you study your books. No, not really. She's too busy crafting. but
Aw.
she, but she does enjoy. And when she, when I was on her with her lessons, she was doing really well. She was
Mhm.
doing really well. Just the dialect, it's
Mhm.
beautiful. It
Wow.
is beautiful.
Hey,
Mm-mm-mm.
y'all wanna hear something funny? My birth name was all it was Spanish, first and middle name. I was named right after my grandmother. So, when I took up Spanish in school, my Spanish teacher, he used to say my middle name. He loved saying my middle name. He said, "Do you know what your name means?" I was like, "No." He told me what my name meant. I was in awe because I didn't know, but my dad named me after his mother. Like I said, I didn't know that she was a Latina until I started learning more about my grandmother because my grandmother passed the year before I was born. So I didn't know her family until, my grandfather took me to a family reunion, and then that's when I saw all of them, and a lot of them was speaking Spanish. So I was like kinda confused, and they was like, "Oh, that's little" I just say, "That's little Juanita over there." That's what they used to call me. I said, "I didn't
Mm.
know her name," but my middle name, it was real pretty, and I just didn't know what it meant. But, it's good to name your children when you name your children, you know exactly what you're naming your kids, because, like, in the Bible, they named their kids, certain names to fit their spirits. So,
Mm.
but when, people, our people, they name their kids some off the wall names and they just make up names off the blue. I'm like, they gonna have an issue getting a job, right? I'm just being honest. They're gonna have an issue getting a job.
What was it? I'm sorry, David. Go back to Trey's comment. Said, I disagree. I'd rather learn the proper way to speak a new language first. The natives will have speaking improperly. Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of slang, but you pick up so much of the culture. It's important to learn both. It's
They'll
important to learn both.
teach
I
you all the
did.
cuss words. Wait a minute, they'll teach you all the cuss words. Now I don't know. I'm
Ain't
old,
worried
but
about
I
the
don't
curse
know if
words,
you
but
remember this movie. What was this movie called? The Goonies. If y'all remember that movie, this I forgot his name on there. Corey Feldman was on there. It was a Latina sister on there, and she was talking. So the mother on there was like, "Oh, you know how to speak Spanish good. You would translate for me." He translate the wrong thing to this lady.
mm,
He translate the wrong thing to this lady, and it drove her nuts. So you have to really watch who is I'm with Trey on that one. Watch exactly who teaching you what, because they can give you the wrong translation on stuff. I had to think about that old school movie. That was so funny.
mm.
Yeah, it's best. I'm with Trey on that. It's best to learn it first before you actually, roll with it and speak it.
Let's see, we have Edward. I know one phrase in Bosnian and Croatian.
Hmm.
Awesome. Nanashi,
Hey,
but you have a major leg up mastering English. A lot of programming, for example, is shifting to AI models that use voice and text from English into code. That means English is the new Latin. Ooh, boy. Trey, America might be the only country where a second language isn't mandatory. I know that's so sad. It's
That
so
is
beautiful.
that is
And
sad.
it does something to your brain when you learn different languages and when you learn music, especially classical music. It just
Oh, there we go. Yeah, Blue.
hey
Look,
Lou,
yeah.
these millennials and mumble rappers almost creating a new ebonic tongue nowadays. Yeah, yeah.
Even now, like, say for
Trey's
instance,
son name is Swahili. Oh, cool. That's cool.
yeah, that's cool, Trey. But you know what? If you look at it, I was wondering why. If you listen to people talk, they talk like they texting. You know what I'm saying? Be
Oh,
BRB and all this other. I'm like, what in the
I
hell?
don't understand.
No, I don't know no text. I don't. I know only
look,
a couple of
look. My
things.
daughter and I we just Google we heard somebody say bussin'. It was it bussin'? So we were like, what does that mean? We just Google bussin'.
I don't know
That
all
means
that.
really, really good.
I don't know all that language. It drives me nuts. I was like, what kind of language is this?
Oh gosh. What is it? 1984 is the Newspeak. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
called Newspeak. Let's see. Edward Trade, that's dope. I came. Oh, Edward, congratulations.
Wow.
Edward says he became a grandfather today. Congratulations. What a
Welcome
gift.
to being a
What a
grandparent.
gift. A little
Welcome.
boy or a little girl.
Congratulations, granddaddy.
Trey. Oh, it's a girl. My son bet start preparing himself. Yep. Yep.
Oh, grandbabies are a blessing. I love my grandsons. They are a blessing.
Americans haven't mastered English.
Look,
Yeah.
because you can have them and play with them and everything, and you can send them home.
Yep. The Nashi, the English speaking West has so few people speaking a second language because most countries, the second language is always English. That includes Asia.
Mm.
Congrats on getting old at
Oh,
bust it, bust it.
I can't.
Yes,
That's
that's
great.
me. So true. First, folks, don't do cursive. Oh my goodness.
Yep,
Now
they'll
people
help
are
you.
making complete sentences as seen as vampire speech. It's hilarious and sad at the same time. Yes, yes. My baby had to learn cursive. She had a little calligraphy set. It's
Mhm.
gorgeous.
That's how I did my
Gorgeous.
kids. I did. You know what? I had taught my kids how to read. This was before they went to school. They knew how to read. They knew how to write. They knew how to do cursive. I had them reading books. I did them like my dad did me. My dad gave me a dictionary. That's why I was in a lot of spelling bees and I was tearing it up, y'all. My daddy made sure I was reading those dictionaries. I knew exactly what words meant, and that really helped me in school. So, far as the vocabulary and everything else. But, they just a lot of parents, they just throw their kids to the school system and they expect their kids to learn things, and it really starts at home.
It
Get them get
does.
read your children books at night. Read to your children. You
You
know
have to
what I'm saying?
show
You
your
have to teach
kids.
them by example. You can't just tell them, "Oh, you do this, you do that," and then when they don't do what they don't excel in school, the first thing these parents do is shame their kids. No, shame to you, because it's up to you to teach your children. Especially, I'm gonna get back to the mothers, especially us. We are the teachers. Don't expect daddy to do it, because dad already have enough on his plate, especially if the father there. He's working, he got to deal with the day to day on the outside or whatever. We are our children's first teachers. And these schools can see when the mothers or the parents are actually putting in a time with their kids. And when you're putting your kids in these schools, you expect these schools, these crowded schools at that, to have individual programs for your children. They can't do that, especially when it's one teacher and they have anywhere between 35 to 65 students in one classroom. That's not enough time in a day for a teacher to teach your children individually. That's why it's up to us parents to make sure we're the ones that's teaching our kids first.
And it's so crucial that your kids see you enjoy learning
Oh,
and
yeah.
that you constantly expanding your mind library, your mind palace,
Mhm.
learning something new. Is so important because if they don't see you doing it, especially when they're little, they're not going to have an interest in it.
Mhm.
If I'm a reader. I've always been a reader, and I've always loved reading, and it just exudes for me. So my baby was reading very because she wanted to do what I was doing.
Right.
She could see that.
Yeah, and they follow your children follow by example. If they don't see you, it's like you tell your kids, "Oh, you make sure you do this." First thing the kids saying they buying, "I don't see you doing it." That's what
Right,
learn by example.
right. And it's so beautiful to because and let your kids know you don't know it all. Be humble,
Right.
learn together.
Right. Be humble on that.
That reduces their stress because kids think we have it all together, especially when we say, "Oh, I've already done this," like you mastered it. You just barely got by.
You barely scrape the surface.
Exactly. Be willing to learn together.
Right, because we still learning as adults, because there's a lot of things that we haven't even been taught, especially from our parents. Our parents did taught us what they knew. And then when we call ourselves, evolving whatever, we end up learning more things and everything else. And then when we have our children, it's up to us to learn new things with our kids. Although we already know it, know certain things. And when we teaching our children these things, we end up learning more stuff. Like, wait a minute, nobody told me about A, B, C, D, and E. So I'm learning this. It's new to me, like it's new to you. You know what I'm saying? So always keep that learning curve flowing, especially when you're teaching your children. They'll thank you for it.
Hmm.
Thank you for it. Cause I'm telling y'all, I praise my dad. I praise my father. He taught me how to write. I was born left-handed. My dad taught me how to write, with my right hand. So now I can use
Awesome.
both. So he made sure that I was able to learn how to write. My dad taught me about certain Chinese things. It's like, say for instance with games, when it comes to games with your children, like the board games and everything. My dad taught me Chinese solitaire, y'all. I tell y'all, to this
Cool.
day, I showed my kids that they couldn't. It's fun. It looked weird, but it's fun. And I ended up showing my kids that. And now, like my oldest son, he have two sons. His Mari, that's my baby. He's showing him how to play that. So see how when you teaching your kids certain things or whatever, and it'll go down and it go down to another generation. And my dad taught my kids how to do that as well. And say for instance, if you have boys, um, put them in, show them, take them to places like my dad, he did construction. My dad showed my kids how to build a wall. He showed them how to, build a fence. He even showed them how to do a deck. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of men that could show their sons these things if they had, if they have the time. You really men, I'm not telling y'all what to do. I'm sorry. I'm not telling y'all what to do. But that's why it's important for young men to have those mentors. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's not their father, some kind of male mentor to show them how to have certain skills. 'Cause it's a lot of like sis, like again, it's a lot of mothers that's hindering their children to the point where when they grown, like that video I went over yesterday, a 20-year-old guy, he just sitting on his butt. He didn't clean, he ain't do nothing. His sister had to get kicked, got their mother kicked this 17-year-old baby out of the house because that 20-year-old man didn't get fed. Y'all hear me, right? She told her she had to go. She called her daughter everything but the son of God because she didn't fix her 20-year-old son a plate. She didn't cook for her son. That little girl was in her brother's room, 20-year-old brother's room. She cleans up after him and everything. All he did was sat on his playing video games and smoking weed. Son husband. No, you put them boys to work. I'm telling you, I put my sons to work. They cut grass, they cleaned the yard, they was not lazy, they knew how to wash clothes, they knew how to cook. They did I showed them everything I can show, but I didn't show them any of the male things. My father showed them, what they needed to know, far as things that like hands-on. My grandfather showed them how to fish. My dad did too. My kids know how to hunt, even my daughter, because I know how to hunt. I know how to fish. I know how to pluck a chicken. I know how to do all those things. And that's what I was saying, sis, about the 4-H program that they have, the agriculture and wildlife programs that they have. You have to show these kids or get them in those programs because if ish hits the fan and they go hungry, they see a chicken, they just gonna look at it like, what we gonna do with it? Chicken just be looking like, okay, I'm here. You gonna cook me or what? And it's a lot of women, especially to this day, that said they don't even want to touch raw meat. So when, like I said, ish hits the fan, y'all gonna be starving because y'all don't even know how to scale a fish. You don't know how to cut a fish. You don't know how to, prepare any kind of meat in its rare form. You only know how to prepare a meat or anything like that once that's already prepared in the
Packaged.
stores, packaged. So you really have to learn all those skills. And the same like when we was talking to sis about the cannon thing. It's a lot of videos that you can find on that.
We have Edward. I love it. Yes, all kids should learn to play chess.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
My
It
kids know how to
teaches
play
them more
chess.
than they realize. Yes, that is the life game.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes. I started teaching my baby when she was 4 or 5-ish. Yes. She can beat me now. I'm so proud.
Yeah.
I'm so
Oh,
proud.
but chess
Yes.
is a good game,
Yes.
and you're right about that. Chess is a good game. I used to play chess with my dad, and he taught all of us how to play, and he taught
Mm-hmm.
and Monopoly, like Trey said. Yeah,
Yep.
you know what, Trey?
Monopoly.
Trey, let me tell you. Before I had about like 6 different Monopoly games, right? And I used to play with my kids all the time. I don't know what happened to the 6, but I had to buy 3 of them over. So I got 3 different Monopoly games here, and I've been trying to get my husband to play with me, but he been so busy. I said, "No, he don't wanna play me because he know I beat him. He be cheating anyway."
And Trey says, I can tell y'all a turn off a woman with bad or ugly penmanship. These young women write like 8-year-olds. It's a turn off. LOL.
It's chicken scratch.
Yes. And um, so another thing is writing absolutely journaling.
Mhm. Oh,
Journaling, very important. It's another great hobby. Just pour it all out.
yeah.
Pour it all out. My
Yeah.
daughter and I, we do writing prompts.
Mhm.
She has something going on. I call it the coin that never ending story. She started years ago and it's still growing.
That's
It's still
cool.
growing. So we're gonna do a little exercise now, you and I, sis. And if anyone wants to join, Want to join? We'll do a little never ending story with a writing prompt. Found something silly, and
Mm-mm.
use your imagination. Use your imagination. You can create whatever you like. Let's see, because I'm definitely more of a reader and a writer than I am a speaker. Absolutely. So for this writing prompt, oh, where'd it go? Okay, there it is. Sis,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to you. Then you can add on to it, and I'll add on to it.
Okay.
One day you wake up and found yourself transformed into a giant hamster.
Wait a minute. What? You gotta say that again.
Oh, Falcor!
Hamster.
Falcor, I trade you. Yes, Lou.
A hamster?
Yes. One day you wake up and found yourself transformed into a giant hamster.
Mm.
Add to the story.
And I just ran around town wrecking stuff. Shoot. A giant hamster. You see little hamsters when they're younger, they just wrecking your house. They wrecking a little spot. I'll wreck the whole neighborhood.
Oh gosh. So describe your day. You wake up and what happens?
I wanna go back to sleep after that. I don't wanna be no giant hamster. I'll be exploring everything, tell you the truth. I'll be looking for stuff to get into. That is crazy. I don't sis, you got me with that one. Trey said he was gonna making up stuff. He making up anything.
Yes, make up anything. Make up anything. You get up, what do you do? You brush your teeth, when you take a shower, what do you do?
Huh. Brush your teeth, take a shower, eat, and get some exercise because all they do is run around.
Do you have one of the big wheels? No, my cousin had one of those balls and they had to zip around the house.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You know what hamsters do? All they do is go around, running around the house. That's all they do.
Hey, to the story. What's your day like?
Right. What's my day like?
Mm-hmm. You wake up, what happens?
You said a giant hamster. I can't even fathom being a giant hamster.
Okay, I'll start there. I'll start. All right. Let's see. I roll out of bed,
Mhm.
touch my feet to the floor.
Mhm.
I don't remember going to sleep with my fuzzy slippers on. I look down and I'm covered in fur.
Mm.
I'm
I
covered
swear.
in fur. I go to scream, but out comes and I cover my mouth.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That is crazy.
And as I cover my mouth, I see my hands. I rush to the restroom.
Mhm.
I barely squeeze through the door. I hit my head against the door frame. I duck in. I look in the mirror, transform into a beast.
And you scream.
I transform into a beast. Well, I guess it's the new me. Might as
Mm.
well embrace it. I guess I can call off of work.
You done did a whole anamorphous. No, I don't know about that one.
So look. I call into work.
Mhm.
Yeah, Keisha. It's not going too well today. I'm not feeling too good.
They'll be like, they gonna say something, "You crazy."
Um,
Just imagine
she
calling
asked
your
me. She
job
asked me what's going on. I said, "Well, I don't know if you're gonna believe this, but I'm a hamster." She said, "Ooh, that's that new strain. That's the new strain of COVID." No, no, I'm literally a hamster.
You know what she gonna say?
She would say, "Girl, bye."
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. She gonna call you and say, "Guess what? How you doing, Mr. Jeremy Hill?" Let me tell you, she gonna be like, "Girl, FaceTime me."
She said, "Okay, okay, you have to make this time up, right?" Okay, hang up. What do I do? What do I do? All of a sudden, my stomach starts grumbling.
Mhm.
I go to use the restroom, but I don't want to use the toilet. I found some wood chips somewhere, and out comes some pellets.
I am done. I am done. Oh, girl, I'm done.
I couldn't find anything that fit. I'm hungry. I don't want anything that's in the house. So I grab an old sheet, cut a hole in it, cover myself out, hop outside, squeeze into the car, and head to the local Walmart. Your turn. Add to the story.
You know I like Walmart. You gonna put me in that? Oh, shoot. I haven't been to Walmart in 5 years. Oh, let me see.
Hey
Oh my
Jeremy.
oh my
We're
goodness.
doing a writing prompt. We're just adding to a story. I
Get a
woke up as a giant hamster. Now I'm headed to Walmart.
but you know what? If I go to Walmart, I fit in.
Oh, oh, wow. Ay, ay, ay.
They wouldn't notice I was a hamster.
Bet they would.
Y'all know I ain't lying. Even
Mm.
Wednesday, all kinds of creatures come up at Walmart. I just
So,
be up in there shopping, grabbing some stuff.
what are you gonna buy? A lime green Kia Soul.
Some wood chips.
No, look, no, I got into my big ball. I got into the big ball thing. That's how I got, not the car, the big ball thing.
Oh god. I don't know, sis. I be up in there finding some little snacks that I can eat on and be up in the line as soon as
Well,
I get up
hamsters
there.
they eat like lettuce and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they eat vegetables, so get me some vegetables I know Imma eat on. Waddle my bu waddle my butt up to the cashier. She be
You going to
like,
cashier, going self checkout.
"I can't do self-checkout." I have to go to where the cashier is. So she's like, cash or card?" And I'm told
She going hell. Cash a car. No, they always got an attitude.
not you know what? She won't say "ee" back. She'll bark at your ass.
Mm. So this is an example of something you can do with friends or family or just by yourself. Just by
Right.
yourself. Get yourself a notebook and just make a never ending story. It can be whatever you like. Just write it out.
Yes.
Use your imagination. Go crazy. Go crazy. And
Sissy.
it's a good idea to date it. So maybe someday your descendants will read it. They will be like, what is going on?
They would say mama was crazy.
Yes. Yes. Um, so writing, like I said, journaling, any
Oh.
type of writing is very therapeutic.
Mhm.
Therapeutic. And you can have a lot of fun. Let's see. All right. Where were we? Language, writing. Okay. Let's see here. All right, sis has to leave pretty soon. Let's
Right.
see. We'll touch on topic number 4. Hoarding. Oops, I meant collecting. Some of us don't know the difference. Some of us don't know the difference. Sis, do you collect anything?
I collect, I don't hoard.
What is it that you collect?
Let's see. What I do collect, I like dolphin, like trinkets and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because I like dolphins. What else do I collect? I collect this certain stuff. Oh, I like collecting. This may be funny, y'all, but my husband say, I know what you into. I like kitchen gadgets, y'all.
Okay.
I like
Okay.
kitchen gadgets in a minute. Soon as I see something, I'm like, oh, I want that. He be like, no. I'm like,
What are some of your favorites?
Like crock pot. I like a mixer, certain like a air fryer, like a oven air fryer. Say for instance, certain utensils, cutting boards. I want my next thing I want to get y'all is a portable ice maker. I
Mm.
like to get
Why
everything.
pork?
A port because the refrigerator we have don't have the ice, the ice thing. So and the way when I do my grocery shopping, I pack my freezer. So I don't have room for ice trays.
Oh,
So
okay.
plus I like to eat ice. I'm anemic, so I like to chew on ice.
Oh.
I want that, so I always have the ice available. So I sometimes I get cranky because I'm not chewing on the ice. I want an ice maker. I gotta wait for it though.
Okay. Okay.
But
And chat, you can definitely participate. We are doing a show and tell. So I'm gonna show some of my goodies. Some of my goodies. I collect. My daughter and I are into well, one books, a ton of books, but my daughter and I are really into miniatures. We really focus on the 112 scale.
oh,
So we have a ton of miniatures that we've made and a lot that we've collected. As far as collecting is, I love Lord of the Rings and
mhm.
Walking Dead. So let me show you. I have several of the Walking Dead characters. We have Michonne. I don't know if you can see her.
Oh, yeah,
Michonne with her sword.
she be wielding that sword, don't she?
I love her. I love
Wielding that sword.
Michonne. So that's Michonne. This is we don't know where his hat is, but this is Gandalf from Lord of the Rings.
Mhm. Yeah, where's his wizard hat?
Child lost it.
Oh, but you know what, sis? It's I forgot it's another thing I collect, and my husband looked at me like I was crazy. I collect a lot of movies, y'all. Lots of movies.
Oh, was it the DVDs?
The CDs, the DVDs. Yep, I have
Mm-hmm.
a total, and this is no joke. I had to put it in storage. A total of more than 2,000 DVDs. I had the old movies because I love old movies, and I collect a lot of 'em. I had, like, the whole Lord of the Ring, episode. I had all of the Freddy Krueger episode, Chappelle everything you could think of that had the series or parts to it, I had all of that.
Mm.
I forgot to say too, yep, Transformers, I had Transformers
Transformers.
Transformers, this is what else I had.
Miss
I meant
Prime.
to say this, I collected comic books. I had
Oh,
swords. I bought swords. I bought an Excalibur sword. I bought
cool.
yeah, I'm a sword person. So I had Excalibur sword. I had the, what other ones? Like
I
the
don't like
Queen
those, Lou. I
sword.
don't like those. The Funko Pops.
Oh. So, yeah, I was collecting sword swords, comic books, action figures for my kids. I was just going to the I love going to the comic stores to get the stuff and collect them. So cuz when you collect those items and you keep them in mint condition that you can get money off of them. So
Mm-hmm.
I lost a lot of it too because that's a long story. I had nothing to do with that one, but all that stuff was good collectibles, and it was something else I used to collect all the time. I'm trying to think what in the world it was. Oh, I used to collect china. You know,
Oh
the
wow.
china, I had all that, but
You
house
had you collected China with 4 kids.
yeah, but you know what? I ain't have it out. I had it in a box. I had to put them up because me having it out. Cause let me tell y'all something. I had a whole, like I said, I collect the dolphin stuff. That stuff costs. Okay, I had the Christmas
Mm.
stuff. But
Oh, okay.
came to she stayed with us. It's my first marriage. I went to work. She let the kids run rampant. Now, mind you, these kids are elementary school. I came back to $5,000 worth of things broken up in my house. All these things I collected. Y'all know I was beyond pissed. I was like, wait a minute, I collect that stuff for a very long time. I had dolphin things that was like I had a what you call that, like a water globe. It was one of them globes like about like this big.
Mm.
It had like two
Nah,
dolphins. It had
Nintendo.
like the water wave. That bad boy cost me $500. It was broke. So I was pissed. So I got to get back into that. But when we get a bigger house, I plan on collecting that stuff again. But I plan on collecting, getting my swords back.
Oh, that is so cool. That's so cool. I like to have a room dedicated to miniatures.
Mhm.
With houses. I have a this is a miniature of my daughter's large doll house that I
Oh,
made. We make a lot of miniatures ourselves as well.
that is so
But
cute.
thank you. This is a replica of the house.
Oh, that is so cute.
Oh goodness, I love it. I love it. So much fun.
Oh,
Um, but I like a room. She would too. Like a room with miniatures with
yeah,
like the
yeah.
houses and everything. So much fun.
Can't have it throughout the house and stuff, you gotta have a dedicated place. But I was
Yeah.
talking to my husband about, like, say, when we get a bigger place, I will have my hobby room. So I have it to where I have my sewing machine. I have one side, I have my sewing machine and my fabrics and everything that I need to have. The other side will be stuff because I like to paint. Artists. I like to do stuff like that. I like acrylics, the acrylic paints and everything, pottery, that stuff, and let me show I gotta show you something. Hold on 1 minute.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Hey, world class. Hey, world class. So I Miss O is collecting her. This is, and I also make the miniature. This is Joe. This is Basenji Joe. We
Right.
use polymer clay a lot,
Mhm.
which is really inexpensive. And you can make stuff out of just scraps of nothing.
Yeah.
Just paper. This is Basenji Joe with his little curly tail.
Aw.
And this is Rascal. We used to visit volunteer at a horse sanctuary, and there
Mhm.
was a white coat there. We
Ooh.
love him. His name was Rascal. He missing the ear now,
Aw,
but this is Rascal.
that is cute. But that's
Thank you.
that's something to do with your daughter. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I did
Gotta
pottery.
play.
I did how you doing, world class?
Sweetie pie.
My son made me this. Look at this. Guess what grade he was in when he made this to me for me? My son is 30
Second.
years old now. He was in the 1st grade. I taught them how to do pottery. So when he got to school, I have a lot of stuff that my kids made for me, and I kept it, which is awesome. So when I
Yep.
show it to him, I'm like, "Well, look what I still got it." He be like, "Mom, you still have it?" So my kids, they make stuff. They're artists, and my son that I'm talking about, he went to Ferris State University. Have art. They have art. What they have, like, art competitions and stuff there. My son
Okay.
got the, what they call that, the Van Gogh,
Van
award.
Gogh.
Yeah, he got the award from the 1st grade all the way through high school. They
Mm.
featured his artwork there because when he was in the 2nd grade, he mastered a two-dimensional and three-dimensional art back then, and they couldn't believe his, artistry. So
Mm.
yeah, so he still do a lot of things. He do animation and stuff on YouTube, so he is my nerd. So it's a lot of things that he do, and it's just amazing to me how smart he is. But he's a tech nerd. So his artwork, it was recognized at Ferris State University. He had plenty of awards, and he was recognized. And they said that they sent some of his artwork over to Paris, and they actually liked it, and they gave him all those.
Wow.
So I was so happy about that.
Oh wow. Oh my goodness. Ay ay ay. Mm-mm-mm. So for me, because I try to be kind of a minimalist, um, but craft materials, any type of craft material and books, that's what
Right,
I collect.
right.
Everything else I try to keep simple.
Yeah,
Let's
you
see
try to keep
here.
your stuff, sis, and have whatever. But what time?
Catalina. My nephew draws in 3D.
Right.
Awesome.
Yep, that's what my son did, and it was amazing that he was young and my son, he was young and he knew the 2D, 3D art. But I forgot his father had that gift. My father had that gift. My dad, and I'm sorry, y'all. My dad have artwork in VA hospitals here in Michigan. My dad
Mm.
used to make, the ducks, the duck, those duck figurines. My dad made them. If you go to the VA hospital in Allen Park, the one in Detroit and the one in Battle Creek, you will find my dad's artwork there. He did a lot of artwork for the veterans, and he also made quilts for everybody. So, he had that gift which I appreciated it. Sorry, y'all. I don't know where that came from. But yeah, it's fun to learn certain stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
yep, I have to yeah, just teach your kids certain things. Art is something that you can do as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, Mrs. O'Shore,
Welcome.
fellow crown head.
Welcome, December
Thank
White.
you. Keep doing what you do. Thank you, Ma.
Hey, it's just me, Q.
So
Welcome, welcome.
I see December in there. Hi, sis. Hi, Ma. How you doing, girl? And thank you. It's just me. I appreciate y'all coming. So
Okay, I could tell you. He started at the age of 3, drawing in 3D, and played the piano without lessons at the age of 5.
me
They're
too.
so gifted. If we just give them the opportunity,
Yes. You know what?
if
I
we
will
just
say this
need the
before I go.
chance.
I say this before I go. My grandfather, Aaron McCray, y'all can look him up. He was a Motown singer and he had a band. Okay. So my grandfather, he taught me how to play an organ and a piano when I was 2 years old. I still know how to play those things. I can play a violin and I can play the flute. I love piano and that runs in the family. And also far as singing, I got to get back into singing, y'all. I used to sing. My mom was a singer. So I had that talent and it was something that I just let linger because when you learn something, you notice and you actually lose it because you're not doing it anymore. So if you have
Yeah.
gifts like that, even though you don't utilize it, at least keep that going so you don't lose it. It's like a muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, so that was one thing I had to say. I really love that, but yep, I have to go, yeah.
Okay. Well, since we're gonna end it here, and we'll just do a part two because we were only halfway through.
Yeah, we scratched the
Yeah.
surface. We ain't even
Yeah. Yeah. We have, let's read the chats.
done.
Edward, I received a letter from the art school in Savannah, Georgia before I graduated high school. I chose the military instead. Hello, December White.
Hi, December. How you doing, sweetheart?
It's just me, Q. Piano and bass is my thing. I wish I could play. Let's
Man.
see here. Yep, December, use it or lose it. My nana used to say, absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
you know what,
Mhm.
December, I can still play. Although I haven't played a piano, I still know how to play it, which is a good thing. But look, she said I'll be in on time next time. So
Yes, we'll do a part two because we were only halfway through. We were only
yeah,
halfway through.
but
All
we're gonna
right. It's
Thursday.
been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, everyone, stopping by.
Thank
Remember, mental health hobbies are great at reducing stress.
Include your
Make the
baby.
time for it. You gotta force yourself because we know we work, but make the time for it. It's so important. It's
Yeah,
so important that we keep our sanity. Okay, so we'll do a part two for next week. We have a lot more topics to discuss.
yes,
We
we do.
love you all.
Love
Thank you
you
for
guys.
joining the
Thank you.
Grown Ass Woman podcast.
Yes.
And good night.
Bye.